Welcome to All Things Retreat podcast. I'm Holly Porter, your host and CEO of Retreat R&R. With over 25 years of experience in designing transformative retreats, I'm here to share insights and inspiration to help you create extraordinary experiences. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, you'll find valuable ideas here. Enjoy the ride. Let's dive in. Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the show. I hope that you are a listener that's been around for a little while. And if you're brand new, welcome. We're excited that you're here, and we're going to help share some things about All Things Retreat. And my guest today is Julie May, and she's the host of Ridiculously You podcast and founder of Ridiculous Women Society. For more than 7 years, Julie has led life-changing retreats around the world, blending learning, laughter, and transformation. From Disney parks to Paris and the mountains. Her signature miracle events include Miracle Camp and Miracle Cruise. Invite women to release control and step into divine possibility. Julie reminds us that true growth and joy happen when we stop separating life, learning, and magic. Welcome to the show, Julie.
Thank you, Holly. So glad to be here.
Well, Julie and I have been friends for quite a few years, and we've done some speaking things together and done events together, and I went on a cruise that you did. I mean, we've done lots of things. So I love that we're bringing that fun energy into this, because my motto is, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. People hear me say that all the time, but it's true. So we're happy you're here, and we're just going to do a little brain picking and conversation around retreats and things that you've done that might help our listeners get some ideas. Maybe it'll spark something in them that they could shift or change or do something differently than they're doing. So are you up for that?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Okay. I have some questions for you. So you have a unique learn while you play approach, teaching business concepts while you're riding roller coasters or exploring Main Street, USA. Can you explain how that model changes the transformation experience?
So we do this a lot with business events. And so a lot of times if you're going to go to a business retreat, you go and maybe it's at a hotel and you have like a meeting room, or maybe it's at an Airbnb and everyone meets together and you sit and learn there. And there's good things about that. But I was like, one of the business companies that inspires me the most is Disney. I think they're super innovative. I love just Walt Disney's just imagination in general. And so I was like, okay, I know just how the brain works. You're more open to ideas. You're more open to seeing what's possible for you if you're in your creative brain. If you're sitting there in logical brain, you can do things in logical brain. It's great. But like opening up the creative centers of your brain does a whole different level of learning. And so I was like, what if we went somewhere where people were going to be able to get into that childlike state where creative brain is open? Okay, Disney, perfect place. And I can go, hey, as we're walking through this queue, I want you to think about, because Disney, if you've never been to a Disney park before, you may not know this, because it's different than going to like your local amusement park where you're standing in the line and it's just like metal stanchions and it's not really part of the experience. You're just waiting to be on the ride, right?
Herded like cattle.
Disney, it's like, yeah, you're just like cattle. You're going through a thing and then you're waiting to have an experience.
Yeah.
Disney doesn't do that. They entice you from far away. They call it the weenie, like the thing that is in front of the dog that makes them want to go in. So they visually entice you in. Well, what can we learn about business from that? Well, people want to be drawn into you. You don't want to be like pulling them like and forcing them towards you. You want to have something out there that they can see that they're like, oh, I want to go toward that. Okay, well, we talk about business with that. We talk about how during the the line experience, the whole thing is themed. It has smells, it has textures, it has a whole thing. And I'm like, what's the customer journey for your client? Is this what they're having before they even work with you? Do they have this whole client journey that feels themed, that feels experiential, that feels like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to come back, that's creating an emotional response with you? Well, you can't teach that without being immersed in it as much as you can when you're at an experience. And then we've done things like talk about manifesting on roller coasters. Well, manifesting energy is like, people talk about having like a vision board and getting into the energy of it and like whatever. Well, imagine all of that energy all pent up. And you're sitting on a roller coaster with like 20 other people that are like, okay, I know the thing I want to manifest. I know the things you're going to manifest. When we start going down the roller coaster, we're all going to yell our thing at the same time. And we're going to use the power of like that whoosh energy. And it like comes into your body. You've got music hanging around. You have like the communal aspect. You have like that fun emotional thing. And it just like magnifies everything 1,000 times. So I'm like, why not use the environment as
Yeah.
part of the experience?
I love it. No, it's so great. And it's just, we're not saying one way is better than another for certain people because everybody speaks to their energy different. And I don't even call the events that they call retreats. I feel like it's just a fun event when they add the retreat aspect to it because it's still an event. You're still stuck in all day in one room doing things, even if they're getting you up and doing activities. So, and then you go to like Costa Rica and you go to that kind of an experience and it's more for relaxation and you're there, or a writing retreat and you're there just to be calm, and like yours is the opposite of that, and that's okay because that's going to speak to those people. And that's why we have so many retreat leaders offering different things. So I love that we've brought this to the table today because I think it just adds a different perspective of the how we can do this, because endless possibilities, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and we do a miracle event every year that's more like the relaxing kind, but it's like, again, why don't we use our environment? Why don't we use like the miracle energy of the ocean and be out in the ocean creating miracles? Like, why not have the environment be intentionally part of what you're trying to learn and do and create? And so that's what we've done with all of our events.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so what's one of your favorite moments from a past retreat where everything clicked for someone in the most unexpected way?
So, Miracle Camp a few years ago. Oh, it's going to be probably 2 or 3 years ago now. And we were up in the mountains in Utah. It was very like low production, man. It was like we had tents. We were up and camping in the mountains, and it was like get back to nature variety retreat, right? And we're just like, we've had campfires, we've done all these things. The thing with Miracle Camp is it's not a manifesting thing. You don't go in. In fact, the rule is you can't go in with, I want to create this. Miracles are different. It's I wonder what God has in store for me that's bigger or different than I even could have imagined. And you go in with that energy and you're open. It's just like, who knows what could happen when the energy is, I just wonder what's out there for me that we could just like be a part of, right?
Yeah.
So we had an attendee there who was past 40, had had infertility trials and issues their entire marriage, never were able to have a child. She had to have a hysterectomy, I think the year before, 2 years before, had tried to do other things with like bringing kids into their world, nothing worked. The last day we were cleaning up camp and she was like the only person in earshot of this conversation, but one of the other attendees got a text in that said, I have a baby here. Is anyone where you're at looking to adopt? And they didn't even know she was at a miracle camp. Like nobody knew anything. And this was like kind of a little bit more distant relative in a whole different state. And they have nothing to do with adoption. They were a clergy of a church. And so she just looked at her phone really strangely and she just went, is anyone looking to adopt a baby around here? And the other girl was like, me, I
Yeah.
am. That turned into within 24 hours, she was on the phone with the birth mother, and they now have, her little girl's turning 2 this month. And it turned into them being able to bring a baby into their family that they had pretty much given up hope on. It was wild and crazy the things that have come during Miracle Camp and Cruise.
I
So
love
yeah.
that. That's a great story. I love it. Well, I've been keeping track of all my miracles because when I almost died a few years ago from COVID, I had so many of them. And my book's coming out this next month, and I have a chapter dedicated to miracles. So I love the story. And I've got 11 so far, which is interesting because there's so many stories around my number ones, including my birthday's 1/1. And we're launching it on 1/1/1/1. So I
So
am
exciting.
loving miracles, and they happen every day. People just waking up every day is a miracle. We just need to look at things from a different lens, and it changes everything. So great. That's a great story. Okay, next
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
How do you choose locations and themes for your retreats? Is there an intuitive or energy process behind it?
So the first thing is, what do I want to have the attendees go away with? Like, what do I want them to feel, experience? What do I want them to learn? What's available out there? And so, like, I start there and then I start to get into like creative. What could that look like? How could they reach these kinds of outcomes? We're looking to not just sit and learn, we're looking to have like we get in and actually work on business things like while we're in line for the things at Disney. It's like it's kind of crazy the things we're creating. It's like, how can we create a really unique marketing plan while we're doing this and while we're doing that? So we want to have like they actually made giant movement by the end of a retreat. And so yeah, we start with that kind of an idea. It's like, okay, so who is it for? What do we want them to feel, accomplish, experience? And then it's like, okay, what's available and what's also new and different that hasn't been done before? I really do like being innovative.
Yeah.
Like when I started doing events at Disney, I'd never seen anyone do those before. I do now see other people doing them. So now I'm like, okay, so what else? I like to be the pattern interrupt. It's like people go to a retreat and they're like, it looks like this in their head. And I'm like, I like to pattern interrupt that. So I want those things, but I also want it to be something super unique. So they go, oh, that's a Julie May event for sure. It's definitely different. It's unique. Like, you know, yeah. And then it really is, and I'm sure you get this too, Holly. It's like you have to kind of sit in that intuitive space. It's like, okay, now I'm open to all possibilities. I've researched, I've looked, I've felt in my heart, but I'm open to all opportunities, and I just let an intuition come in and I trust it. Like I freaking trust my gut and jump off a cliff a lot of times and go, that's the gig.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, I love that too. And all the interactions great. I like to just gamify everything when I do an event. It just makes
Yeah.
it more memorable. But I love how I mean, the Disney thing's yeah, it's a great idea. And it seems like when you were saying that you hadn't really seen them happening, actually they were happening. It's that whole top of mind when you're like right now, my book's called Near Death Shift. Shift word is in everything. I'm hearing it everywhere now. And it's like,
Oh, yeah.
because it's top of mind, I'm like, wait, there was nothing when I researched that name. There was nothing called that. And now it's like everything's about the shift. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's like we've heard that word for a long time. But anyway, so I agree with that. Oh, wait. So you teach others how to own the stage, yet retreats often ask leaders to step off the stage and step into circle. How do you personally balance being both teacher and participant when leading transformation?
I think it's part of being a leader that you really need to know how to be like leader from stage looks different than leader from participation, than leader from, even being a panel speaker or something like that. But I think that's one of those skills that anyone in the retreat space needs to know. One of the ways I handle it is just understanding that when I'm in leadership mode of, hey, we're in a circle together. I'm gonna hold the energy. It's my circle. I'm gonna hold the energy there. That's part of my job is energetically making sure like everyone in here feels safe. Everyone in here feels free to have a voice. But I don't have to be the educator of all things. I don't have to be an ego here and say, I am the only answer. I am the only one who knows how to do all the things. When you hold a really beautiful space and invite the people in, that's the other thing too, is the people who come to our events, it's like most of the time there's a bit of an application process that comes through. I make sure you're a good fit. All of that's happening within it. And so then I know the other people are going to share really beautiful things. We allow that exchange to happen. We have really good communication skills. And that's how I kind of see the leadership of that happening. If I'm in the front of the stage and like it's me and there's 100 people in that audience or 500 people or whatever in that audience, I'm gonna own that a little bit differently. I'm not gonna be like, okay, let's just hand it out to everyone and I'll just hold the space. I'm gonna be like, no, I'm the expert of this room right now. This is my stage, and we shall talk later. It's a different energy
Is
than the retreat energy is. But like, if you want to be a leader of anything, knowing how to do both is really valuable.
Oh, I think so too. And being good at both is also, and it's okay if you're not both, right? I mean, you can be good at one and not the other. Not everybody can balance, and that's the whole journey, figuring it out what you're good at and staying in that authenticity. I love that. So you've built a strong brand around authenticity. What do you see as the biggest trap retreat hosts fall into when they're trying to market transformation?
I'm going to say being kind of similar to everyone else. And I know it's not going to be the same because you are different, but if the language reads the same and it has the same activities and it's in a similar location and some of the speakers are people they've seen everywhere else, it's really going to be hard to kind of stand out in a somewhat saturated market. And it depends on where you're listening from, but some markets are a little saturated with it. And so that's a lot of what I teach about is like finding your unique thing, that thing that you're probably like, oh, nobody would want to do that. Like first time I did a Disney event, I'm like, are these people who are like so high in business gonna want to come play at Disney with me? And I'm like, well, we're gonna do it and see, because that's my gig.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying do that. I'm saying find the thing that's like your weird passion or the thing that makes you different there, the thing that like is so fascinating to you that like maybe you go study it all the time and then you're like, oh, I don't know if anyone else would want to do that. But like that's usually a key to what your purpose and your mission and things that are going to attract other people in are. So like double down on those things that you think are like your little quirky, hidden whatever, as I call them your little ridiculous parts, and showcase that more. Because so another thing is people are afraid. They're like, well, what if people don't like me? What if people don't want to come? What if they don't like the idea? That's like the first clue that you're probably on a good track, because if there's people who don't like you, it helps have the people who do like you find you. If you're like, I'm everyone's
Yeah.
everything, nobody can find you, hun. They have no idea who you are or what you do. When you're strong enough in your thing to go, this is who I am, this is who I'm for. I love that. And it is okay if you don't like me. And it is okay if you are attracted to what that looks like, but be clear. Have your little quirky self out there and be clear on who you are.
You're ridiculous. What'd you call it? You call it ridiculous what? About
I just call it your little ridiculous parts. So, ridiculously you is about loving even the ridiculous parts of yourself. Those little things that you're like, people are going to think that's weird, or they just think, oh, that's too much. Or like, I laugh all the time. I used to try and hide that. My Disney eccentricities, where I'm like Disney everything. I would not be very forward with that in the past. All of these things that I'm going to say my early business career, I just hid. I didn't dress as loud and colorful. I think Holly can attest to that. You've known me for a
yeah,
while.
yeah,
And I'm like, I used to kind of hide those things. And the more I have played into, no, that's who I am, the more people feel free to be their fullest selves around me. And it makes it more attractive to my potential clients and people who want to come to retreats. And it's easier for people to find me and go, oh, I do love that energy. And it's more free for me to be myself. And so that's what I invite you guys to do is those things that maybe you have been told in the past to kind of, cover up or tone down or whatever.
yeah. Well, and if it doesn't attract them, they're not your people. And that's
That's
okay.
exactly it.
Bless the release, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so many retreat leaders struggle with visibility, feeling uncomfortable selling something that's heart driven. What mindset shift helped you go from service to sustainable business without losing integrity?
So one of the things I see a lot is people who are very heart-centered going, but shouldn't I just be Christ-like and give this away for free or do it, in this way that doesn't cost people money? And I'm like, it's up to you. It's up to you how you want to do it. But my mindset is additionally, God gave us these gifts and these talents and these passions to serve other people, to do it on a higher level. And honestly, I've seen my clients get more out of it when they're willing to invest in it. If they're willing to invest their time, their money, their energy in it, when they're there, they are there. They've gotten the babysitters, they've spent several $1,000s. They're there. And when they're there in that energy, they actually open up the energetic gates for them to have a bigger transformation. And so I kind of say you're robbing them of being able to invest fully in being there. When you say, I'm going to do it super discount, or I'm just going to do it at cost, or I don't want to charge, or all of these things, when people show up to something like that, they show up in a different energy. It's like, oh, I'm going to go support my friend, or maybe that'll be fun for the weekend if I can get a babysitter. That's a different energy than saying, hey, we're going to have a powerful weekend. It looks like this. Here's some experiences we've had in the past. I invite you to invest your time and energy to come and be here like that. That person is going to have a bigger transformation. And if that's what you're about, then I invite you to look at it that.
Yeah. Because what you pay for, you pay attention to.
It's exactly it. It's
Yeah.
exactly it.
It's so true. So true. And all right, let's see. So finally, okay, could you speak directly to the retreat leaders listening right now, those creating spaces for healing and expansion? What's your one ridiculously you challenge for them?
My ridiculously you challenge is to get completely aligned with your event. So look at it and go, is there anything in this event that is out of alignment at all? I mean, go double hard on this is exactly who you are and exactly how you want to serve. And then go out in a big way, like put all the ducks on the line and go like there is no possibility of failure. I think when I started my events, and I started in traditional events more than retreats, but my very first in-person event, like in person, we had over 300 people attend because I didn't ever consider that it could be anything less than that. I was like ignorance on fire. I knew exactly what my purpose was. I knew exactly who was supposed to be there, and I marketed like freaking shift balls. Like everything was like, I just knew it was going to happen and I could
Yeah.
visualize it. And I talked to everyone. Like there was no shame in it. I was just like, everyone's gonna come and it's gonna look like that. And we were massively successful. And I didn't know, like I said, ignorance on fire. I did not know until after that most people's first event has like 20, 25 people. I didn't know. So I just assumed there would be hundreds, and that's what we did.
You had it in
So
a town, a small little podunk town in Utah that why are this many people coming here?
exactly. And our next event had over five, I think the final count was 526 people, the next event.
Wow.
In small little town, and people traveled 3, 4, 5 hours to go to the small town to do this. It was insane. But the thing that worked was I knew that I knew that I knew that that's what I was supposed to be doing, and it was in alignment with me at that time. And I also was just like, I just got out there and told everyone and had like full confidence in what the outcome was going to be.
Yeah.
So when you're completely aligned and you can just go out there with full confidence and like just brazenly invite everyone, then you're
Right.
going to be pretty successful. Yeah.
I know I hear a lot because I talk to a lot of retreat leaders that are really struggling to fill their events, especially if you don't have a list of people and all of a sudden you decide to do retreats. You know that it's a process to build up to that. Could you speak to anyone in those shoes that are maybe thinking, oh, like I used to fill them, I'm doing everything the same, and they're not filling? I mean, would you be able to speak to that?
Yeah, because I would say marketing tactics have changed a lot over the last 3 years, or
Thanks,
yeah,
COVID.
even 3 years. But like
Yeah.
since COVID, and even the first 2 years after COVID, things that worked then are not working as well now. So like keep abreast on things that are working and aren't working, and be willing to try things out. I'm still going to go back to the more of the event is an expression of you on fire, the more it is like super clear who you are, what you stand for, your imaging is clear, all of that. It makes it a lot easier for people to find you. Don't be caught up in the mess of looking like everyone else. Additionally, things that are working really well right now, Eventbrite ads are actually working really well, even for things like this, small little meeting get-togethers and stuff. They're kind of working the way Facebook ads did, 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
So that's a place to kind of start gathering a list and helping people. Another thing that worked for me is something I call borrowing credibility, which is having somebody else who has a big list, maybe paying them to come to your event, be on your stage, and kind of borrowing that like credibility and lists and stuff like that by paying them and having part of your marketing budget go towards that. There's little things that you can do that just help you out when you're brand.
Yeah, I think those are great tips. And I think it's awesome. Well, all right. We're closing up here. Oh my gosh, we're already out of time. Can't believe it. But I just want to let everyone know I'm going to put all your information in the show notes. So if you want to get a hold of Julie and see about working with her or talking to her, and Well, let's make sure we put your podcast link on there as well, so you can go listen to her show. She just launched her show, a show called Ridiculously You podcast. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Hmm.
Make sure I got that right. Anyway, so go check her show out and like and subscribe to both of them. That helps us. It really does. And anything else? Last words?
Last words, if you feel it in your heart, go do it. Like, go do the big brave thing.
Yeah, I love that. Big brave thing. That's a good one for today. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time on the show. Bye for now. Thanks for joining us on this episode of All Things Retreat. We hope you're leaving with new ideas, fresh inspiration, and the motivation to take your retreats to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps us grow and reach more retreat leaders like you. And if you have any questions, topics you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hello, send us an email at info@weretreatrnr.com. Follow us on social media to stay connected and catch all the latest updates. Until next time, remember, great retreats start with great intentions. Let's make them extraordinary, one step at a time. Thinking about hosting a retreat? Before you dive in, let's make sure you're really ready. Grab your free Are You Retreat Ready checklist and find out if you've got everything in place, from your purpose and pricing to your audience and agenda. Don't guess. Get clear. This quick checklist will show you exactly where you stand and what you need to make your retreat a success. Click the link below in the show notes to grab your gift and take the first step toward hosting with confidence.